Beautiful Monday, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for joining us today. To everyone who are watching from all over the country, maayong buntag kaninyo tanan. Good morning, everyone. Are you ready for the news? Are you ready for what's interesting today? We have a packed show for all of you. So stick around. We will have a great start of our week. Earliest this morning, Kuya JV Onod, and then followed by Brother Mel Chan. And of course, my family in Ozamis, Mayan, Tagaro, Papu, and the rest of the Tags team, and the kids are watching. Lynette is also with us today. Good morning, Lynette. Good morning, everyone. Are you ready with your coffee? Are you ready with your snacks? It's a beautiful Monday. It's July 6th. How are you all doing, my friends? I hope you are all doing well. Get well soon to Nanay Melin Granderos, according to Mayan. Get well soon, Nanay. Sa mga viewers natin sa buong bansa, you can also watch this on replay through our YouTube channel. So if you wish to catch this, if you can't watch it early at 8 to 9 in the morning, just head over to YouTube, look for Marc Castrodes, click subscribe to that channel so you could catch the episodes as we upload them later in the day. Okay, it's a packed day because there's so many things that have happened over the past how many days. Number one, pirmahan na po yung anti-terror law. We will be talking about that later on in the What's Trending segment. And then, tumaas po ang cases kahapon. Hindi po palakpak yan. Medyo, paano ba yan? Medyo tumaas yung cases. Pag-usapan din po natin yan later. First time that it breached 2,000 plus. But there's hope and we can do something. That's why last night I was thinking, how can I help? How can I help communicate? There's this platform. You are with me. And we need to start this movement, my friends, to really communicate the message of caution, the message of care, the message of responsibility sa ating mga kababayan who could be affected by this COVID-19 kung hindi tayo mag-iingat. Latest from St. Luke's, they're filling up again. They closed the third COVID section. They're thinking of opening that up again. Chinese General Hospital is already on full capacity and many hospitals are filling up again. Is this the second wave? We don't know. Is this what wave are we in? The kind of reporting is not so efficient as much as we wish it to be more efficient. So let's begin this movement of Filipinos to really remind one another to take care kasi napakahirap pag merong na COVID sa pamilya. Ug naay masakit sa ato nga mga diha sa Mindanao, Visayas. Pagbantay gyud din taon mo kay ang mga hospital diha dili ra ba pareho sa St. Luke's. It's not like the big hospitals here in Metro Manila. That's why ug naa gani masakit nato diha sa Visayas, Mindanao, it might be harder if we fill up all the hospitals there. Good morning, Neo Onan Jr. and the others who are watching. Let's head over to the news. What's in the news today? What's in the news today? Let's begin with... Let's check first the update from the DOH. Check this out, my friends. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how bad it is today. Oh, this was from yesterday. 2,434 cases. 2,434 cases. Good thing that we have a good number of recoveries as well. We have 400 plus recoveries, 489 recoveries from reported yesterday. There were 7 deaths. At least the death rate is much lower compared to what the numbers were a couple of months ago. But it's still very, very high. So we need to do something in order to stop the spread of COVID in our country, my friends. That's the update from the DOH. Let's head over to Manila Standard. What's the headline of Manila Standard? The headline from the Manila Standard, check this out. NSA blasts terror law critics. Sino si NSA? National Security Advisor Esperon of the President. According to this news article, maybe the ones who are opposing the new terror law, anti-terror law, are terrorists. According to this news article, this new terror law will give law enforcement greater capability to fight against terrorists in the Philippines, and they are hopeful that this law can do the job there for our country. Also in the headlines of the Manila Standard, HIV drug didn't work on virus cases. Hindi daw po nag-work yung virus cases sa ating bansa, kaya not the virus cases, hindi nag-work yung test drugs. Ang sabi ng World Health Organization that there are the 3 drugs that were initially thought to help COVID cases actually did not stop mortality rates from going up, meaning it did not really help in stopping the virus from killing people, and so they are stopping the use of that drug for COVID-19 cases. So those are the headlines, my friends, from the Manila Standard. Let's head over to the Philippine Star. The Philippine Star, the headlines from the Philippine Star today's news. Palace will bow to SC or Supreme Court on the terror law. This news article states that lawyer groups have filed a petition before the Supreme Court seeking for the nullification of certain provisions in that new law that they believe are unconstitutional. So they believe that the warrantless arrests, the detention of suspected terrorists, among others, are unconstitutional. And so Secretary Roque, speaking on behalf of Malacanang, expressed that they will support the Supreme Court in whatever finding it will have on the anti-terror law. It also outlines how this law will help fight terrorism in the country, but the others who are questioning this law are more fearful that this could be used against critics. So those are the headlines coming from the Philippine Star. Finally, let's move over to the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Okay, interesting headline from the Philippine Daily Inquirer. Philippine Daily Inquirer says in its banner news article, the Department of Finance to ban online sale of sin products. What are sin products? Cigarettes and alcohol. According to the DOF, they will ban this. The article initially states that the reason for banning is it could be sold to children or to minors. And there is a law prohibiting the sale of sin products, cigarettes and alcohol to minors. That's the reason given, because apparently this quarantine season saw a spike in the sale of sin products. Maraming bumibili ng alcohol at sigarilyo, and it's possible that sale of these sin products have been made with minors. Kaya the move coming from the DOF is to ban the sale of sin products online. I'm sure not everyone will be happy with that. In the same article, though, it also states that it will seek to tax online sales. And this is the real reason why they're seeking to tax online sellers. It's really to track or go after those selling sin products, cigarettes and alcohol, supposedly saying that they're not really after the small sellers who are just trying to make a living online, but really big corporations who have transitioned from regular retailing of their products to selling of their products online. Totoo nga naman. And this article also states that it seeks to impose the value-added tax on sale coming from international retail online sites like Amazon, Lazada, and other lead retailers like Shopee, because those sites are really experiencing brisk sales. Napakaganda ng benta online. And it looks like it's going to keep growing in the coming months. Sale of products have really moved over to the online space. And so revenue collectors, our government revenue collectors for tax purposes, need to also update their methods to find these transactions para po merong negosyo ang ating bansa na magagamit for our infrastructure, our social services. So wag pong mangamba masyado ang maliliit. Ang sinasabi ng Department of Finance, they're really after the big ones. Kasi totoo nga naman, kung hindi nga huhupa itong ating COVID-19 cases in the coming months, it's possible that people will develop the habit to buy more of their supplies, their needs, and their wants online. So if they transition online, dapat nagbabayad ng buwis yung mga nagbebenta online. Paano mo yan ita-track? Paano mo yan i-regulate? From this news article, sisimulan nila dun sa malalaki. They will start with the big ones like sin products, alcohol, and cigarettes, and maybe others would follow. Alright, good morning, Kuya Gilbert Lazaro, Tito Vlogs. Good morning, Mami Sarah, Evangelista Rachel Cruz. Happy Monday! And to your lovely PA and technician, yes, she is here with me, Mami Sarah. She's the only one I got, and she's doing a wonderful job. What else do we have there? Okay. So, yan po ang mga balita mula sa Philippine Daily Inquirer, Philippine Star, and the Manila Standard. Just would like to give my quick comment on this news article, the DOF to ban online products. Well, the retailers of alcohol, for example, are saying that they have measures to make sure that kids are not the ones buying alcohol. You click if you're over 18 before they could do a transaction with you. But you know that it's very loose. It's so easy to just click, I'm over 18, and they actually have no way to tell unless you require an ID or a passport or any identification. Unless, for example, we have our national ID system that is reliable to identify people and their ages, thereby allowing government and private sectors companies to also track who they're doing business with. Kung hindi po yun available, paano kikita yung ating mga kababayan na nagbebenta lehitimo while also protecting our children? Napakahirap naman nun. Kasi, paano yung mga yun ang pinagkakakitaan? Yun yung kanilang negosyo. Paano na sila mabubuhay? Paano bibili? So, ibig sabihin, in order to come up with a law that's reasonable or regulation, there's what you call the balancing of interest test. They balance the true interest of people they're protecting versus the interest of the group that could suffer because of that regulation. So, honestly, I don't think this is all about alcohol and and cigarettes only. This is all about that big transition coming from the regular retail in person, in store, to online. Paano mo nga ba i-regulate yan unless the government can find a system? What do I suggest? They should consult people who are knowledgeable with e-commerce, and maybe with e-commerce they could require certain software that would allow for government to take a look at what's happening in these businesses, sales transaction online. All right, those are the news for today, my friends. I would like to say hi to my brother-in-law Vince Medina, my sister Sui, and Ryan Medina. Also saying hi to Ate Vivian Fabria from Cagayan de Oro City. Maayong buntag sa atong mga amigo diya sa Cagayan de Oro. Amping mo kanunay, ayaw kumpiyansa. Dili gyud magkumpiyansa kay ang COVID walay giilang nga lugar. Walay giilang nga dato o pobre, walay giilang nga bata o tiguang. COVID can attach to anyone it finds who is not careful enough to protect himself or herself against the infection. Good morning also to Lizelle Balyangao and to all our friends watching nationwide. All right, so if you have kids with you there, I want to get to know them and type their names because we will be proceeding to the portion where I talk about what's interesting. Listening from Cebu, Webster Barnido. In the What's Interesting segment, I will be talking about something that might interest your children. So come, invite them. Bring the kids along because this is a point where Kuya Mark will try to convince them to study well. Good morning, Yangsky, and all our Rostrum alumni nationwide. Steve Arquiza, good morning to the kids of Mr. Steve Arquiza. What are their names, Steve? Steve and the kids are based in Davao. I would like to say hi to the kids in Davao. Maayong buntag kaninyo, kids, and I hope you listen to this. All right. What will Kuya Mark talk about today? How about the others? Have you brought your kids along with you? Is Ryan with you, Tito Vince? Tito Gilbert, are the kids with you? I want the kids to listen. This is actually not for the kids. This episode or what's interesting. Simon, Lila, and Jabez are watching in Ozamis. Good morning, Simon, Lila, and Jabez. Please listen to Tito Mark, okay? What will Tito Mark talk about today? To Tita Betsy Chu. The Chus are here. The Chus are watching. What are their names, Tita Betsy? To the Chu kids in the U.S., I don't know which state you're at. Are you in Texas? I think you're in Texas. Please mag-ingat po kayo, mag-amping. Please be careful. I know there's a big surge of COVID-19 cases in your country. So please be very, very careful. Okay, what will Tito Mark talk about today? Many people hear this online, that you don't have to be a good student to be successful as a businessman, to be successful in life. I'd like to say hi to Anton, Andres, and Joey coming from Boracay, or I'm not sure if they're in Boracay, maybe they're in Iloilo. Kids, I want you to listen to Tito Mark today. So, you hear this a lot that you don't have to study because Bill Gates was a dropout. You don't have to study because Mark Zuckerberg was a dropout. So you have this notion that in order to be successful in life, you don't have to be a good student. I will try to convince you today that that's actually not the case or not necessarily the case. I would like to, however, use this as a premise that, well, even those who did not really study hard can still have a chance to succeed in life. This world, the Lord has made this in such a way that we will all have our space in this world and we will all have a shot at finding success. But I would like to prove to you today that these people are not really bad students. Okay, let's begin with Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. Why did they drop out of school? Why did they drop out of school? They dropped out of school because their skills were actually way advanced than what the school was teaching. Bill Gates dropped out of school because his computer programming skill was way advanced than what the college was already teaching. He was already doing projects for the local power utility while he was in high school. When he was in college, he continued to do the software, the systems for the local big corporation. And so the need for that service called him out of college. That's the same for all the other businessmen. They did not drop out because they're dumb. They did not drop out because they did not really do particularly well in school. They dropped out because their capabilities and the service was really needed in the community. What will Tito Mark do today? I will share with you a few names that are doing very, very well in life, who are actually very good students also. And I will tell you a little bit about their story. Let's begin with this guy. Okay, who is this guy? His name is Andrew Tan. Andrew Tan is a big owner of McDonald's in the Philippines. He owns Emperador, that's a liquor brand that bought Fundador. He also now owns Dalmore, an international whiskey brand. He also owns many other brands, but his biggest company is Mega World Corporation. He also owns Picnic and many other brands. He also has investments all over the world. In short, this guy is a billion-dollar man. Now, where did this guy start? He started as a student. What did he study? He studied accounting. Was he a good student? He graduated magna cum laude. So what did this guy do? He was a good student and then he was exposed to business early in life. He worked with Yakult. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Yakult, the probiotic drink. He worked with Yakult for a while. And then you know what? He eventually bought the building of Yakult in Makati. And so when he started his business at a very difficult time. He started it in the 90s, in the mid 90s. And then when he started his real estate development, Eastwood, he got struck by the global financial crisis. But because he was very good with finances and he knew how to present the projections well, he was able to find good investors from the US. There is a guy from the US, because he was very good with his figures, he was very honest with his figures, he was able to get good investors. So what can you get from the story of Andrew Tan? He was a good student and he was very good with figures because he was an accountant. He also hired Gutierrez, Ma'am Gutierrez, who's now the COO, also cum laude accountant. So what is the lesson from the life of this man? If you're doing business, it's all about money. It's all about resources. It's all about cash flow. These will require a lot of thinking. And so while he experienced a crisis in his life, when he met the world financial crisis, his ability to come up with an honest valuation, honest projection, and his integrity as a finance guy running a company made the investors trust him. You would know that this person can be trusted if he understands his business well. If you're talking to someone who did not really understand his business because he did not have the ability to think through the details, it's very hard to trust that guy. So why did this guy become a billion-dollar man? He knew his figures because he had a very strong academic background. So that's our first role model for the day. Andrew Tan of Mega World. Be good in accounting, because how will that benefit you? You know how to pitch. You know how to present your data whenever people want to invest with you. The second guy, oh my, this guy's amazing. You know who this guy is? The next man I want you to copy is this man. Who is this guy? His name is Lance Gokongwei. Who is Lance Gokongwei? He is the boss of the second largest conglomerate in the Philippines. If you think of Chippy, Cheese Curls, Robinsons. If you think of so many things, I cannot enumerate all of his brands. Cebu Pacific, huh? C2, the iced tea drink, etc., etc., etc. Nips, um, so many, so many. His dad was already a successful businessman, but this guy grew it even further. He expanded it. He managed it well. Now, where did he get his ability? He was a very good student. Okay, before I continue to tell you the story of this guy, I would like to say hi to Sammy, Rafael, Paulo from Fort Worth, Texas. Hello, Texas kids. Keep safe always. I would also like to say hi to Wins and Dawn from Canada. Hello, our friends from Canada. Okay, so who is Mr. Lance Gokongwei? He was the son of a businessman and he went to study in Wharton. Okay, Wharton in the US. This guy, he knew even back then that he will take over the family business because he's the eldest son. So what did he do? He studied finance. He studied finance because he knew he needed to understand the finance of their business. So he's very good finance guy. But he also likes science. You know what he did? Okay, I'll take up both finance and applied science. You know how well he did in school? He became summa cum laude for both. He got two, not just one. He got two summa cum laudes for both finance and applied science. He pursued what his parents probably asked him to do, which is study finance because he needs to be a finance guy to run their business. But because he also likes science, he also took up science. And that's how is his science helping them? When this guy develops a product, he goes around the world talking to machine manufacturers. He doesn't start with, for example, he doesn't start with cake. Okay, he will tell his cake people, okay, make a cake and then we will find a machine for it. Nope. Because he's a science guy, he starts with the science before he goes to the product. What does he do? He travels all over the world. He looks for the machine. He looks for the science. He brings the machine. He brings the science over to the Philippines. And then he tells his guys, come up with a product to make this machine work. So meaning his company, because he is science smart, although he makes branded consumer goods, flour, sugar, pork, chicken, etc., anything you can think of that's in the supermarket, he makes those. But because he is a science person, he starts with the science and ends with a product you can enjoy at home. And that's why his products are also very good. That's why his products are also very clean, because he starts with good science. Okay? So good science creates good products, because according to our friends from Japan, the Toyota head, everything starts with good thinking. Everything starts with good thinking. So that's our guy, Lance Gokongwei. You want to become a good product developer, whether that's chippy, cheese curls, an energy drink, whatever, flour, chicken, beef. If you're good in school, science, math, and finance, you can start with the science and come up with the best possible products. Why? Because you understand the chemistry behind it. You understand the mechanics behind it. You understand and you can talk to your scientist friends. They also have a plastics factory. They make snacks. They make all sorts of things. Kuya Mel. That's our second role model, Mr. Lance Gokongwei. All right. Okay. Now, the third one is an interesting person. Okay? No, not yet that girl. This one. You know who that lady is? Okay, to the older ones here, to the older ones in the chat. Can you name me that person? Who is that person? The first who can identify that person, kids, who can name that person. I will give you a hint. I'll give you a hint, okay? The hint is this. Darna. Darna. Okay? Darna is a local superhero who was like Wonder Woman. She's like the Filipino version of Wonder Woman. Can anyone here identify her? Miss Connie Galion Monta guessed it right. She's Miss Nanette. What's her family name? Nanette Medved was actually an actress. She's a beautiful actress. No, she's not Abby Arenas. No, she's Nanette Medved. Nanette Medved was an actress who played Darna, who played many, many movies, and who happened to marry into a very rich family. She married a very rich guy. So I want to share with you from the perspective of someone who marries into a very rich family. So Nanette Medved married the chairman and now the head of Pacific Corp. What's Pacific Corp? Pacific Corp is a huge conglomerate, billion-dollar conglomerate because they sell, Century Corp pala, Century. They sell Century Tuna, they sell Argentina corned beef, they sell many other products. So you can now imagine Century Tuna, if you own Century Tuna and what did I say? Corned beef. What's the name? What did I say? The corned beef. Nanette Medved married into that wealthy family. So if you're unfortunately for the used word, just an artista, maybe you will just be a trophy wife because she's a beautiful, beautiful person. Still looking excellent like a supermodel even now that I think she's almost 60 years old or maybe mid-50s. But you know what happened to her? When she married into this traditional Filipino-Chinese family, she did not just become a trophy wife. Nanette Medved is now the chairman or the chairwoman of the family council of the Po family. The Po family runs many, many businesses and conglomerates, and they needed someone who was neutral, who was smart, whom they can all respect and believe, not because she's an artista, not because she's Darna, but because she's actually a graduate of Babson College, summa cum laude. Summa cum laude. Nanette Medved graduated summa cum laude. So you could be a beautiful person, you could be an artist, you could be dabbling in acting because you like it, but because you're smart, because you have your strong academic background, you will not be treated just like a trophy wife. You will be respected even by a billionaire family. You will enter a family. So for girls here, girls, the ladies among the children watching, like Leela, and who else is watching here? Is Sammy a girl? I think the kids watching, the girls, study well. So even if you marry into a very big corporate family, you will gain respect. You will gain their ear. They will listen to you. They will not treat you lightly because they know you're very, very smart and you know what you're talking about. That's Miss Nanette Medved, Wonder Woman of the Philippines, Darna, now the chairwoman of the Po Family Council, one of the top philanthropists in the Philippines, graduated summa cum laude from Babson College. All right. Sammy is a girl. Yes. Hi, Sammy. Sammy, yes. This woman was a beauty queen, an actress, Wonder Woman, Darna, and also now a philanthropist and family chair of one of the richest business families in the Philippines. Saying hi to my family in Iligan, Auntie Myla Gallardo, PJ Santos also, good morning. So that's Miss Nanette Medved. Who's our next? Danny's also here. Hi, Danny. My daughter, Danny. Good morning, Danny. Who's my next role model for you? All right. The next role model for you is this lady. This lady. Okay? This lady is one of the most powerful business women in the Philippines. Okay? One of the most powerful business women in the Philippines. She, together with her husband, started Philinvest Corporation. Philinvest Corporation is one of the largest corporations in the Philippines. Now, her husband used to be recognized as one of the pioneers in the real estate development in building subdivisions in the Philippines. So they thought that the husband, Mr. Gotianco, was really the person behind the growth of the company. What many people did not know was the person really running the company was this lady. Yes, Gotianon, sorry. Mrs. Gotianon, the owner of Philinvest Corporation, actually graduated with a magna cum laude from the University of the Philippines with a degree in pharmacy. Okay. If you're a pharmacist and not just a regular pharmacist, you're a magna cum laude pharmacist, you have the ability to remember so many details. You have the ability to distinguish minute details of medicine and treatment, and you have a training for inventory, etc. So this lady had a very keen mind. And that's why everyone is saying this lady really grew the business by her ability to remember things. So if you have a very good academic background, if you're good in science, math, sabihin mo nang, okay, you're not really smart because you're just good in memorizing things. That's not really true, because having the ability to memorize things is also a kind of intelligence. They say sometimes that only people who can analyze well are intelligent people. Well, analytical intelligence is one, but they say rote memory is bad, or just the ability to memorize things is bad. I don't agree with that, because some people may not be so analytical, but they have the ability to remember details. Is that important for business? Absolutely. If you remember details, kasi ganito yan. In business, you need to compare performance from last quarter, from last month, from last year to the reports you're getting now. Okay. Your people will prepare reports. If you have the ability to remember things, you don't need to analyze much. You just need to remember things. If you have that distinct ability to remember details, they cannot slip one without you noticing. So you could say, why is this figure this? Didn't we get this last year, or this last month, or this last week? And then when they know that you can spot those little details, then what will that create? You will create employees and people who will now be very careful in submitting something to you. They will be excellent in making reports. They will be excellent in submitting documents to you, because they know, like Mrs. Gotianon of Philinvest Corporation, she remembers everything. She can spot little details. Where did that come from? Magna cum laude pharmacy. See? So don't feel bad if people tell you, kids, na, oh, you're not really smart because you're just good in memorizing things. No. If you're good in memorizing things, be the best person at memorizing things. If you're not very good at memorizing things and you're more analytical, then be the best at being analytical. Because God made us different. I will be intelligent in this manner. She will be intelligent in that manner. So for example, you have two people who are good at, if you want to succeed in business in life, find the right wife. That is correct. Kuya Steve also says, if you want to succeed in business and in life, find the right wife. I agree. Eto yun, Kuya Steve. kung hindi ka magaling mag-alala, but your wife can remember everything, you have a gift. Other wives are not as good at remembering things. For example, Migo is here watching also. Hi, Migo and Ate Spring. My son, Migo, remembers a lot of details. Ate Spring remembers things that she likes to remember. So she will not remember everything. But she would need someone who remembers everything. So you will find partners, either husband or wife or business partners, who will be good at things. So, for example, si Kuya Mark, I don't remember many details. But Tita Trisha remembers so many details. That's why we work well together. So, ganun lang po yun. So, this lady here, magna cum laude, pharmacy. So, was she already a gifted person when she was a kid? Maybe. She was already smart. But if you go through life and you really honed your ability to remember details, you know who's the other person that I know remembers a lot of details? Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. Although this is not about business, but Gloria remembers everything. She knows your name, the name of your husband, where you met. You know, those are gifts. Those are kinds of intelligences that you also want to develop. So again, what's the lesson from this lady here? Remember details. Develop the ability to spot the difference between this report and that report. Rote memory is not an inferior kind of intelligence. Don't believe anyone who tells you only the analytical are intelligent. Nope. They're just differently intelligent. If you are intelligent, if your brain has the ability to store information, then you are the person who remembers things. That's your gift. So, iba-iba po ang ating intelligence, my friends. All right, let's give a big hand for that wonderful lady right there. Okay, who's the next person I want you to copy? The next person I want you to remember, her name is, this lady pala's name is Mercedes Gotianon. Mercedes Gotianon. Okay. The next person I want you to, okay, let's go to the States. Who are these guys? Sergey Brin and Larry Page. They own Google. Both are about $70 billion rich. Were they bad students? They were gifted kids. They were already very smart with honors in college. You know where they met? They met in their PhD class in Stanford University while they were finishing their PhD in mathematics. So they were both math geniuses who met in their PhD class, started Google and Gmail and Google Maps and Google Translate, etc., etc., and Google Meets and Google Hangouts and Google, etc., etc., etc. Where did all those wonderful online products come from? These two guys here. Why are they so brilliant? Because they were good students. They studied well. And not only were they good students, they were also good sons. Their parents were also professors in math and computer, and they started learning their math and computer very early in life. So, will that gift make you successful? It could. It could. It could. All right. So that's Sergey Brin and Larry Page. Next one. This lady. Okay. You know who she is? I researched her because there are so many rich people in the Philippines, but this lady stood out for me. Her name is Vivian Ke. Vivian Ke. Okay. Vivian Ke is the daughter of the founder of Mercury Drug. Vivian Ke is someone I respect because for the longest time, she does not rank among the top 10, not even top 20 billionaires in the Philippines, not even top 30 billionaires in the Philippines. You know why she's special and I put her here? Because for many, many years, Vivian Ke was the Philippines' top taxpayer. Top taxpayer. And I believe if you're a good taxpayer, that you study your finances well and you go by the rules, you don't take shortcuts, you follow regulations, and you pay right. You don't cheat. She may not be the richest, but she paid the most taxes. You know why? And one of the reasons could be because she graduated cum laude from the University of Santo Tomas with a degree on pharmacy. Cum laude pharmacy. What does good education also do to you? If you're a good student, you're also taught in school to follow rules and not take shortcuts. You know how to follow rules. You know how to put in the effort to bring in the results. And that's why this lady has built into her system the ability to follow rules. You know what? Unlike other businesses, it's actually easier to cheat on taxes with the business of Mercury Drug because not everyone asks for a receipt. And when people don't ask for a receipt, you cannot really trace the business transaction. But because you have an honest businesswoman who knows how to follow the rules, then you can have someone who will be the top taxpayer in the Philippines, even if she's not the wealthiest Filipino. So what does studying in school do? Sabi ng iba, masama yung people are just teaching you to comply. Yes, as a businessman, you need to challenge norms, you need to disrupt, you need to think of something new. But in your thinking of something new, you also need to realize that there are certain rules and regulations you should not break. You follow the rules, you follow regulation, and it is within that system and regulation where you create your products and your innovation. The tendency with people who think that they can be rich by taking shortcuts, by violating rules, is it's possible that they could suffer because of the law. Yes, Vivian Ke, such an admirable woman. So follow the rules, comply, pay your taxes well. Where do you learn that? You could learn that from your family, but you could actually learn that from school as well. Hindi ka nangungopya. Kung hindi ka nangungopya, then you're relying on your own brain to think and develop. Kung hindi ka nangungopya ng assignment, then you're relying on your own diligence to make your assignments which will help you later in life. Kung wala kang shortcut sa basa, hindi ka lang nag-cut and paste ng iyong term paper, you actually read the book that you're supposed to do a term paper on, you really did your research, and then you wrote, meaning sanay ka to put in the effort, put in the time, which are necessary skills if you want to do business later on. Kung sanay kang mag-shortcut, yes, can you make a quick buck? Can you make yourself rich fast? Yes. But the danger is, if your mindset is taking shortcuts all the time, kumita ka nga ng pera, posible ka namang makasuhan. Posible ka namang magka-problema sa batas. That's why, when people say, well, our school system is just teaching you to comply and to follow, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Because it's important for us to comply and follow even while we're also thinking out of the box, even while we're also being analytical, challenging things which you can learn from home. Okay? So palakpakan po natin si Ma'am Vivian Ke of Mercury Drug. All right. Next person. Are you enjoying this? Before I proceed, I would like to answer the question of Tita Jenny Salvador. She asks, any advice for parents if students are starting to have fatigue? Oh, okay. Fatigue is a natural reaction of the body when it is stretched beyond what the body can take. Okay? Fatigue, whether muscles or brain or breathing, is when you stretch it beyond what is convenient. That's why if the kids are starting to fatigue, maybe it's important for us to be creative on how to manage schedules. If for some people will have a shorter fatigue threshold, others would have a longer fatigue threshold. That's why iba-iba yung ating approach sa bawat bata. If itong batang ito will have 30 minutes as maximum focus time, the other kid would have 1 hour, then we treat them differently and approach their schedule or create their schedule differently. So again, fatigue is a natural reaction of the body, and fatigue can be managed by varying workload, by being creative with how we manage our workload. Okay? Now, what did I do when I was in law school? Law school can be quite fatiguing. It can be quite tiring because we were reading a lot, and I was even a part-time student. So I didn't have the luxury of time to study the whole day because I was a professor in the morning. I was a table tennis trainer in the afternoon. So I practically just had 3 hours in the afternoon to study and a few hours at night. So how did I manage my fatigue when I was pushing myself too much? You know what I did, Ate Jenny? I learned how to nap. I'm a good napper. You give me a chair or a couch, I can immediately take a nap for 10 minutes and be up on my feet again and restart what I'm doing. So the ability to take a nap is so powerful in fighting fatigue. All right? I hope I answered your question well. The next person that I want to share with you is someone that you might know and someone you might have heard, or some of his posts you might have read. Who is this guy? This guy is the well-respected speaker, Francis Kong. Okay? Francis Kong is as a speaker, a writer, and many people listen to him, and many people think, well, what is his story? Because many speakers and motivational speakers have this line: I was dumb before, I'm successful now even if I was not a good student. I made my money, that's why follow me and be motivated. Francis Kong has a completely different story. You know why? Francis Kong will tell you to put in the work, to be diligent, to do your business well, to manage your teams. You know why? Because unlike other speakers who will say, I was a bad student, but I was very smart and I was so crafty and I became successful even if I was a bad student before. Francis Kong cannot say that, or do not say that, or does not say that rather, because he actually graduated magna cum laude. Francis Kong graduated magna cum laude from college. He was a very, very smart student. Excuse me. He was a very successful student. And not only was he magna cum laude, he was short of just becoming summa cum laude, and he was also the editor-in-chief of their school paper. That's why he's not just a writer who just, there's so many people who claim they're a writer, a book author like this. Francis Kong does not just claim to be a writer. He has always been a writer because he was the editor-in-chief of their school paper even back in college. He started as a literary editor and then he became the editor-in-chief. That's why when he speaks, he rarely makes a bad mistake, or he does not at all. I haven't heard, because he actually prepares well. He creates detailed drafts. So if you want to do business in the speaking and writing world, what do? Do it in college. Learn how to research well. He researched well because he's editor-in-chief. He was magna cum laude in business. He also studied well. So, that's the background of Mr. Francis Kong. Palakpakan natin si Mr. Francis Kong, magna cum laude, editor-in-chief of their school paper. So, that's why he's very good at what he does. Last but definitely not the least, the last person I will tell you about is this person. This person started a small business and grew her business. She did not have capital when she was starting, but she was very creative. She was also very diligent, and she was also very resourceful. She was able to get support loans from government. She was able to get support funding here, funding there. You know what? Because she was very good in filling up forms. She also had very good files of their business projections. The finance is all right. Whenever there's an opportunity to get support from this agency or that company, She was always ready with her stack of application forms filled out excellently. That's why even if she started her business with almost zero capital, she was able to seek help and grow her business because magaling mag-fill out ng forms, ng application forms. You know why? She graduated cum laude from the University of the Philippines. Kung merong mga kasi maraming programa ang gobyerno, but people say, well, it's so hard to get support from government. You don't get support from government because you don't comply with the requirements. You need to go, get a form, attend the seminar, write the requirements, put together all the requirements, submit it in a nice file, submit it to them, and then they will give you support. Where will you learn that? You will learn that from school. Napakagaling nitong taong itong gumawa ng scrapbook, napakagaling nitong gumawa ng project. She always submitted her projects on time. She always submitted her projects in elementary school and college on time and nicely because she got extra points. She always wanted extra points. And did that help her when she started her business? Yes, because she was always ready with her stack of papers and corporate documents and financials whenever she needed it so she could get support and help to build her small business. She was ready for it. You know what her name is? Her name is Trisha Castrodes. My beloved Trisha Castrodes. And you know why she's so brilliant? She is so brilliant because she married the right person. She is a genius because she married the host of Marc Your Day. Palakpakan po natin ulit si Tita Trisha. The host of Marc Your Day, Tito Marc, was also actually 10 outstanding students of the Philippines. When I was a student, I was a very good student. This was from a paper clipping many, many years ago. Tito Marc was there on the left side. Look at me here. That's me. I'm one of the 10 outstanding students of the entire country when I graduated. But my biggest blessing is really marrying this woman here. This is really my secret to my success. Because without a good wife, sabi ng Bible, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. I believe that so much. Okay, so let's give a big hand again for Tita Trisha Castrodes, and I hope you're inspired to study well, do your math well, do your papers well, because just like Mr. Andrew Tan, you can talk to your financiers, you can talk to your investors well because you're very smart with your figures. You can be like Lance Gokongwei, you're leading with your science. You can be like Miss Nanette Medved, you will enter a family, you will be the chair. Although you're beautiful, you will be respected because you're very, very smart. You can be like Mercedes Gotianon. You know all the details of your business. You don't miss out things. You remember things. You're also like Google's founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page. You develop global products because you are extremely smart. Or like Francis Kong, who's a writer, speaker, magna cum laude. And finally, like Susan Ke, you pay your taxes well. You play by the rules. You don't cheat while you're building your business. So, study well, my kids. Study well, my dear students. You can become successful. And studying, treat it like your business. This is my first business. If I do well in my business as a student, maybe I will do well in my business in the future. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. It's already 8:59. I wanted to tell you about what's interesting, what's trending. What's trending? I wanted to tell you about what's new with the anti-terror law because, well, basically it's still getting challenged in the Supreme Court. That it's going to arm government officers and policemen to fight against terrorists, particularly the NPA, the really after the NPA. Maybe I'll discuss that on Wednesday if you want, if you're interested in that. I won't do that anymore today. Let's just get a recap, however, of the DOH COVID cases. I hope you help me, help your countrymen, help one another in spreading the information to really be careful. Wear your mask, wear it well, so that we will all be safe. Okay, I'll teach you one last secret on how to be successful in school or in life, okay? This is Kuya Mark's closing. And this is my secret in doing everything that I do in life, even doing this. You know what's my secret? This is really the secret to success in life. Are you ready for this? Palakpak muna, palakpak. Before I end and I share with you the real secret to success in life, real secret to excellent work, real secret to outstanding performance. That's the secret. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men. Your audience should be the Lord, not your parents. Your audience should be God, not your boss. The person you want to make him to smile, the person you want to make smile is God in heaven. You know why? Because if your standard is the Lord of heaven, He's perfect. So if my standard is Him and I want to make Him smile, then the standard of my mom will be low. If I want the Lord to be happy with my work, then the standard of my boss is actually low. Then I blow out, then I remove all the limits that people said, I can only do this, I can only do that. You cannot succeed because you're this, you're poor, you're not handsome, you're dumb. No, you remove all of those. Do everything with all your heart for the Lord, and that's how you become really successful. You know why? Because if you do things for the Lord, you're actually after perfection. Because He's perfect, sabi niya, be perfect. So I want to do my work perfect. When I write something, I want it to be perfect. When I do a project, I want it to be perfect. When I do a test, I want it to be perfect because I want my dear God to be happy and to smile. Not my teacher, not just my mom. If God smiles with the perfect work that I did, I'm sure my mom will be happy. I'm sure my boss will be happy with my work. So, do everything with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. Because the key to success actually to put your standard much higher than the standard of your teacher, your parents, or even your own standards. So, I want you to do well in school, my dear children. I want you to do well in life as well. So, God bless you. I want you to check the YouTube page. Share this to your classmates and friends so they can be motivated as well. Study well this week, even while you're on quarantine. Do your homework well. Don't wait for mom to catch you not doing it. And dream big. Dream big. You will be successful just like the role models we talked about today. This is your Mark Your Day. Keep safe. God bless. See you again on Wednesday.